What's up, everybody? Evan here for Grips.com, continuing with Project Get Me Stackin. Today's question is all about telling the truth and the challenges that come with it. So let's get right into it. Hey Evan, how's it going? As per your request in the 2014 is our year video, I would like to ask you a question. How did you tell your family or close non-poker friends that you were going to play poker as a profession? Did they not accept it at first? I feel like I'm held back from my poker game because some of my family don't accept this profession or don't even accept the fact that I play at all. Can you give me some advice on how to tell them how to deal with those feelings of people shunning you? I'm not playing as a profession now, but I definitely want to move to that level in the future. Thanks for hearing me out and no pressure to answer my question. Cheers, Peter. And I think this is a really great question that you've asked, and one that I'm sure a ton of gripsters out there are struggling with, because some of us start playing underage, some of us are playing when no one else believes in it, understands it, or supports it, and it's tough to be like, yo, this is what I'm doing. So before I get into the presentation, I want to say that in general, secrets, they cause harm. And having to keep things bottled up is a recipe for pain, unhappiness, even potentially disease. So it's best to get it out there if you can. So for anyone in this situation, it's important to address the issue and to be able to express your desires to the people that are most important to you. Let's get this party started. In my personal experience, there was definitely some uneasiness about me pursuing poker as a profession. I come from a family where both my parents are lawyers and part of the workforce, and I'm sure they would have liked me to do the same. When I told them I was going into poker, they were extremely hesitant and unsure about it. But I basically went with the approach of, hey mom and dad, listen, this is what I'm doing. If you want to be supportive of it, that's awesome. But if you don't, I'm going to pursue it anyway. When you put it this way, it makes it clear how important this is to you. And if something is truly important to you, then anyone who cares about you should be able to accept it and at least make an attempt to understand it. Which brings me to the main point of why parents and friends don't tend to support people who chase after poker. Unlike the regular jobs out there, poker lacks a lot in terms of quote-unquote security. There is a lot of uncertainty surrounding it, and the main thing is people just don't understand it at all. Many people think that poker is the exact same thing as roulette, craps, blackjack, and all those other casino games. They think it's purely gambling. And professional gambling, well, that's a tough racket. But professional poker, I think it's been shown in some studies that it can be a viable profession, provided you are willing to work hard and stay on top of the game. Being a professional poker player has its similarities to professional athletes and movie stars in that you can get some camera time and look like a superstar. But recognize that a lot has to go on behind the scenes for that opportunity to become a reality. The other main reason that people look down on poker as a profession is that they don't think it gives anything back to society and the world at large. For something to be a true career that is fulfilling and rewarding, it should involve some kind of service, some kind of giving back, some sort of making the lives of others better for you having been a part of the world. Other than the argument that you're providing entertainment for those looking for action, it's pretty hard to say that playing poker on its own is making a great contribution to society. But that doesn't mean that you're stuck being a non-contributor if your primary source of income comes from playing cards. Look at Barry Greenstein, for example. This man has given back so much and is a total saint, a great role model for any aspiring pros out there. What professional poker affords you that a lot of other careers do not is the ability to choose your own hours and take extended breaks or vacations if you've been doing well. It also gives you an opportunity to make a lot of money in a short period of time, assuming that you both play well and get lucky. Now, with all those resources at your fingertips, time, money, and freedom, you have an opportunity to do a lot of good for the world. A true professional will make the most of that opportunity. A true gambler, however, will squander his money on short-lived highs. And this is something a lot of people worry about and associate any sort of gambling with. They just don't want to see you walk down that path. From my personal experience, I also have a couple of risks that I want to mention. As I get a little older, I understand the worries that parents have a little bit more. Gambling is addictive, and it can consume you if that's the only thing you have in your life. And poker is by no means an exception to this rule. Because of its highly addictive nature, you have to be extremely strong-willed and balanced in your life so as to not get consumed by the gambling side of the culture. You know, think about casinos, think about all-night poker home games, and think about the types of people that frequent those establishments on a regular basis and are still there at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Are those the kind of people that you want to be around? Gambling games can cause people to devalue money. But you have to maintain a respect for money and communicate to your parents that bankroll management is a primary priority of yours. You have to make it clear that your approach to poker is not about getting a gambling fix or a whole get-rich-quick scheme. It's about developing your confidence and your character by proving to yourself that you can acquire a skill. Poker is great for developing the analytical side of your brain, your logical thought process, and in the case of live poker, human interaction and psychology. There is so much to be gained by approaching the game properly. And there is so much to be wasted by just mindlessly playing games and not making an active effort to be improving all the time. Make it clear the differences between approaching this as a profession versus it just being another video game. Communicate that to the people you're trying to convince and share this with. Because poker, when done right, can also provide you with a lot of freedom and opportunity to develop yourself as a person. And when others see you, quote unquote, crushing it in all dimensions of life, trust me, the last thing they're going to be doing is shunning you. They're going to be drawn in like a fucking magnet. So it's fine to do it. Go after poker. Just make sure you're doing it right. What made things easy for me was that when I told my dad I was going to pursue poker, we agreed that if it was going well, I would roll with it. But if after a couple of years it didn't seem like I was going anywhere, that I would look into something else. See, you can get into something and change your mind later. This whole what you're going to be when you grow up and what in your career defines who you are, it's just not the way the world really works, okay? You can do something and then get into something else later. People change careers all the time. And just because you want to give poker a go doesn't mean you're locked in for life. Again, communicate this. And playing poker can just be something you do. It doesn't have to be who you are. You've got to be a multidimensional person. Okay? So, if people care about you, if they value you as a human being, they should be willing to make an effort to understand your passions, why they're important to you, and how they work. The better a job you can do of explaining why it's possible to make money at this game, and trust me, graphs and track databases are shockingly helpful when trying to convince people of things. You show them a 10,000 hand sample, 100,000 hand sample, show them the graphs, be like, oh, maybe that does make sense, If you do that, they're more likely to understand and therefore be accepting. People can't accept what they don't understand, so you have to explain it and break it down. If, however, your family is one of those families who believes things are a certain way, that they're always going to be that way, they've always been that way, and they're going to be that way forever, then you're probably going to have to wait until a ruling from the U.S. courts declares poker as a skill game. And until then, you're best served to pursue your passion in your spare time. And if you make it big, then share your story. Hey, mom and dad, look, I won $10K playing poker. And it was over this time. I didn't just get lucky and win a lottery. You know, something like that. If you wait till you have your success and then share it, it's going to be hard for others to deny what you accomplished and chalk it up entirely to luck. So I hope that's helpful. That wraps up my presentation on this topic. You know, don't necessarily take what I say verbatim, but take the idea to heart. And if you're ready to take that step to communicate something to parents or people who are important to you, just make sure that you do a good job of explaining it and breaking it down, because they don't know the terminology, they don't know the theory. Pretend that you're talking to a baby who has never even heard of the thing before, and then try to explain it like that. The better you can communicate it, the more likely they are to be understanding and accepting. So, yeah, best of luck with it either way. I know it's not easy. But a big thing is, at the end of the day, if it's important to you, it doesn't matter so much if it's important to everyone else, if it's accepted by everyone else. If it really matters to you and it makes you feel good, just fucking do it and go with it. And eventually people are going to come around. You don't got to please everybody. Anyway, if you have questions for Project Get Me Stackin, please send them on over to evan@gripst.com with the subject line, Get Me Stackin. I hope you found this video insightful and informative. Until next time, this has been Evan for gripst.com, saying peace, patience, and progress.